dropping off the Bedford van, the long wheelbase, down here for Tony to get started on the rust. We'll have a bit of a walk around her so we see what she was, and yeah, work through the progress. She's a bit rusty up around the gutters, well, all the way around the gutters. But all in all, she's got bubble windows in the back, which is good. The sills are average at best. Someone's put a Pontiac diff in it, so that means I've got Holden pattern on the rear and Ford on the front. I'm going to come back this week and remeasure the diff and put a disc brake late model one in. And yeah, that way I'll have Ford pattern all the way around and try and find something with a dish on them, and we can build the van around the wheels. But she's not too bad. It's been sitting for a while. I've had this thing for probably 2 years. You know, it's solid enough. The doors aren't completely rusted out. She's full of leaves and spiders and all those good things. But yeah, there's a couple of rust spots in the back, and the floor's quite good though. And yeah, but she'll come up to be a pretty cool sort of rig. It's not too bad. I actually bought a short wheelbase, which will be the next Bedford we do, and that I'm going to keep. But the bonnet's completely shot, so we'll get a fiberglass one. But all the hinges are there. The motor's been pulled apart and left without the sump on it, but it's had a disc brake conversion to Ford, so we will yeah, see how she ends up. But we'll keep you updated as it gets cleaned up, and yeah, she should be a pretty cool sort of rig. Alright, got the Bedford van back. Okay, the gutters and that have been done. I'm going to attempt, well not attempt, but I'm going to Holden red motor. This is a good one that I had sitting at home, so I'm just going to give her a tidy up and a paint. Okay, you can see that now the gutters are actually there on this thing all the way along. He's sorted out across the top of the windscreen there. It's not 100% yet, but all the rust has pretty well been done. Okay, now we've got to deal with the rest of the mess, but we're going to start by getting it running and driving, because as you guys would be well aware, it sucks having dead cars sitting around. So this motor here is hardly bolted in. The head's not even really connected, it's just sitting in place. Okay, we're going to pull the brake booster and master out today as well, and we're going to go through, I just went through the yard then and had a bit of a look at what I can find to replace that, but yeah, there's nothing there because of the angle of the front of it that we can sort of do. So we'll probably pull it apart and put a kit through the booster and the master. And yeah, so brakes and engine in. Got to pull the engine out from underneath, so drop the, we're going to pressure wash it all now, get it inside the workshop, and then lift it up, unbolt it, slide the motor and box out and go from there. But we are going to be replacing the diff in the back, because it has a 12 bolt out of a Pontiac in it at the moment, and it has Ford stud pattern on the front for the disc brake conversion. So we want to have Ford all the way around to make it a lot easier to put a set of wheels on it. So yeah, all right, I'm going to get stuck in now, get this pressure wash, get it in there, and I'll give you a few updates along the way. Any of you guys ever had Bedford vans? Do you have any now? Yeah, I do have a short wheelbase one as well, but yeah, I'm going to fix and sell this. I'm pretty sure I've got a guy that's pretty keen on it anyway, and then I'm going to spend the money off this on the short wheelbase and make it into something really cool. But anyway, we'll get stuck in and continue on with the process. Hey guys, all right, back at it again. Sunday, things are quiet, which is good. I can get some work done. The captain's away, being the weekend again. Just having to play around with this horse float. I'm in the midst of putting a trailer hire business onto my towing business, so a couple of horse floats and car trailers and all that sort of stuff, so just doing a tidy up on this thing. I'm not too sure if it's something you guys really want to see. If you do, just say, yeah, show us the trailers as they get built and cleaned up and everything. But anyway, what we're at today is the Bedford van. Okay, so this is my long wheelbase one. Okay, you've seen a bit of it before. So where I'm up to right now is motor out. So yesterday I had a bit of a play around. It's got a Holden red motor in it, which is good because I've got plenty of them hanging around. The way they mount up is, as you can see in here, there's two bolts that bolt the front end in. Okay, that's all been undone. And then under here, gearbox is hanging. I was supposed to bring a yoke over from home, but I didn't, so I don't want to spill tranny fluid everywhere. But it's going to be a bit of a pain to get the converter and flex plate off because the motor's fully seized up. I might have to drop the whole crank and stuff out. But today, yeah, I just want to get that motor out, and then we're going to strip out the engine bay, get all this stuff here out. I want to get the booster and master out so I can do a put a kit through that, get the brakes working again, and give it a paint up, get rid of everything basically, make it clean and tidy. And then out here on the stand, today we will do a big red paint rebuild on this 202. She's a 202. I don't know if many of you know about the early Holden red motors. These all come out of, okay, so the Holden red motor. For you young blokes out there, the Holden red motor come out in everything from your early Tiranas, your HTGK, Kingswoods, HQs. There was even red motors in your early like VC Commodores. Okay, but yeah, they're a good motor. They go forever. I've overheated them to the point where it looks like they're on fire, and then you let them cool down and they're off again. They are just a bulletproof, awesome motor. This one come out, someone had done a conversion to a Hilux. It was a good runner when I pulled it out, and I set it aside for projects. But yeah, so I'm going to pull all the dizzy out of it. Manifold's got to come off because it's got those extractors to go on. We're still going to run the normal Stromberg carby, which it has a single barrel Stromberg, as you can see here. Let's see. Okay, so single barrel Stromberg. The van's no powerhouse and it's never going to be. It doesn't need to be, it just needs to poke along. But we'll get this off, get it all painted up and get it ready to go back into the Bedford this week. I've got an old fella that's pretty keen on it. So I want to get it up to the best state I can for him so he can put the inside in it and make it into a camper. He had one when he was younger. So we'll try and help the old fella out and yeah, do him a deal if we can. But yeah, so I'll show you the progress, I'll show you how she cleans up and yeah, go from there I suppose. Now, I've noticed heaps of you guys have got VS Commodores. I'm very surprised at that. I do sell a lot of parts of VS Commodores. They're not a model I've ever really been keen on, but for you guys, I'm gonna go buy an SS. I'm gonna start looking now to find one. Yeah, and you know, if that's what you guys are into and what you want to see, I'm more than happy to buy those cars and yeah, build some. Yeah, another car's not going to kill me, is it? But anyway, all right, yeah, so VS coming up. It won't be for a couple of months unless something comes up tomorrow, but I doubt it. I'm only just starting the process, putting it out there. We'll go from there. Okay, all right, I'm going to get stuck into the Bedford, do a little bit of fiberglassing on the top of this horse float, give you a few updates and we'll go from there. See you. I've asked a couple of people to do this trailer for me to get it tidied up so I can start hiring it out. And when I say I've got to do fiberglassing, everyone looks at me stupid as if to go, how do you do fiberglassing? So I just thought I'd show you guys how fiberglassing works. You can see up there in the roof, there's a crack up the front here, okay? So we'll jump up here now and I'll show you the dodgy repair someone else has done. And then I'll show you how to fiberglass. It's pretty simple stuff really, but yeah, I was just amazed how many people didn't know how to fiberglass. You can see here, I've started to cut this away. Someone's tried to repair it. You've got the crack there, okay, in the roof, and it's sort of all shitty. What's happened there is they haven't used enough resin, which is the liquid, to get it soft enough to work. So I've got my grinder there. I'm going to cut all that away now, okay, and then I'll show you how to mix up the resin and how to apply the resin and how to layer it to make it strong, and then we'll have a fixed roof and we can. Yeah, I want to try and get this painted today. It won't be finished today, but painted, and then we can assess certain areas to make it tidy. I'm going to put an awning off the side too for the horse people, and we should be able to supply a really, really good horse float for hire. Like, yeah, well, that's what I want to do anyway. Righto. So in the kit you get this sheet, okay? It's like a hessianed sort of fiberglass matting, okay? So what I've done, see how I've cut those edges off each one so you don't have any sharp corners? Okay, all the way around, and then I overlap. You need to build it up, so you overlap the edges. Okay, does that make sense? To make it stronger. Okay, so I'm going to start. I've still got this section to do, but I don't like that big hole where it's all thingo, but that bit there's cracked out as well. So I'm going to jump underneath and try and support it as much as I can with tape underneath the bottom, and then I'm going to come back and yeah, show you the process. So basically what you do is you get your resin, okay, you get resin and hardener, you put a little bit of hardener in with the resin, mix it up, and then you want to brush that surface wet, stick your first sheet on and then put your next one. There are little rollers and stuff you can get it, they don't come in this kit. I'm not that much of a pro of a fiberglasser, but yeah, it'll still work. Like, it'll take, you just scuff it up like you do with doing body filler with cars, and away you go. So yeah, but that'll strengthen that up, and then I'll do the same thing on this. I'll end up with a large square here and it'll be all strong and no wet horses. But anyway, all right, I'll keep going and I'll show you the next bit of the process. Righto, I've got that set up the best I can, guys. So here's the drill. You want tip your resin in there like that. All right, there isn't enough there, so I've got enough there for one more run. Okay, as you can see here, I've put some sheet down. It's very hard to video this, and then I want probably 45 drops. 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. That should be plenty enough. That's hardener and that's resin. So then you get your stick, you mix up your resin, okay? It's a very stressful sort of process. You've got to be quick. You don't know how quick it's going to set off on you. You got to make sure you don't get any dry spots. It's I will admit it's not my favourite thing to do, fiberglassing, but it is very effective for repairing like front bumper bars and stuff like that. Tip that on there and make sure it's soaked all the way through. But once that dries, that will be this roof sorted. I want to get at least this bit here on, and then that next piece just up the front there as well, on and soaked all the way through. And then that'll give me a good base to set out the next section to make sure I've got strength in it. And you've got to make sure you overlap your sheets and you put plenty of resin, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that's actually coming up. Okay, and then this big piece here I organised for, you know, in a perfect world I'd have more resin and I'd have that sheet all wet before I do it on there, but it's not a perfect world. It is what it is. So you got other schmeg everywhere. Anyway, alright. So I've left just enough resin there that I think I'll get this bit done, and then that'll be it for this kit, even though I've still got more bits to do. Sorry the camera work's not much better, guys, but I hope you can sort of get a gist of how it works. I'll try and move that back a bit so you can sort of see what I'm doing. I think that there might be a bit better. Just tip that on. So you want to goop it in so it gets all those dry edges, okay, and work your way along. I do have a mate out here that I bought that blue Valiant off. He's actually a fiberglasser. He'll be sitting there cringing right now going, "Oh Red, what are you doing? Why didn't you ring me? I would have come and done that. Look at you, you bodgy bastard." I can hear you now, buddy. But don't worry, by the time this video goes up, this won't be finished, so you're more than welcome to come and do it. Yeah, nice bloke. He's got he's still got one hard top left. He had a convertible VG hard top there too. I would have loved to have bought it, but you can't own them all. You just can't own them all. All right, so I'm going to use the rest of my resin on this little hit now. Okay. Okay, so they say 45 drops to every 100 mil. That there would probably be 150 mil. So if we do 90 drops, 2, 3. I lost count. Who's counting? Whoop, whoop, that's probably too much. Oh well. Anyway, back in the land of, see, it won't matter anyway, like, if I've mixed that up wrong, in the end, it will still set off. Eventually it'll work its way through, because, well, you guys have probably noticed how busy I am all the time. It does take time for me to get back to jobs, so I might not get back to this for a week anyway, so I can guarantee you that this thing's going to be dry by the time I get back to it. So, yeah. But you can see how easy that is to mix that up, goop that on. If I can get this piece on that I'm doing now and the piece just here with this crack, I'll be extremely happy. Well, as happy as I can be, the grumpy bugger that I am. But anyway. That's actually coming up really well. I'm actually very, very happy with that. I'm looking forward to getting these trailers going. It's going to give me more time in the workshop, I reckon. Which is what we all sort of want, isn't it? See, once that dries, just because I've finished this one layer, it doesn't mean I can't put another layer on later. You know what I mean? So let's. I've got enough resin there for this piece here, which I've cut out for right there. I reckon I'll have just enough to do that. All right. So you wet your bottom. You all know about that. Alright, so you wet it so the sheet will stick to the base like that. It doesn't matter if you put a bit extra around the edges and that, it's not really going to matter. Okay, but so long as you get that sheet wet all the way through. Okay, get rid of our mixing stick, put that in there. There we go. And then just make sure those edges are all gooped up, I suppose, for lack of a better word. Alright, so down below, feel free to comment and tell me what I'm doing wrong, okay, because I'm not a pro fiberglasser, I'm not a pro at anything, okay, so anyone out there that is a fiberglasser and you see that I'm doing something wrong here, please speak up. Like, I'm keen to learn myself. It's not just about me babbling on here, it's about a collective learning experience, you know what I mean? So yeah, what do you reckon? That's it's going really well actually. I'm really happy with that. It's a bit dry just there. We'll get a bit more to soak through in that spot there. I'll be pretty happy. That's where the crack is, right there. What do you reckon? Would I make a fiberglasser? I'd much prefer to weld this up, but anyway, can't win them all, can I? Alright, so I've got a couple more bits there. I might just, got enough there to maybe just do that crack again to strengthen that up, and that'll be about the extent of the resin I've got, I'd say. Tip the rest of that resin on there, and we'll just make sure there's plenty on around our crack, make it strengthen it up. I don't know, probably doing the wrong thing there, but probably going to bugger up our resin to there we go. I'm going to jump down underneath that and try and push that up a bit. Righto, engine's out on the floor. You can see she's a bit sad. The head's been sitting, it's been sitting for a long time. Starter motor should still be good. It'll give me engine mounts. It's sort of, it's a catch-22, like that's rooted, but at the same time, I'm very lucky that it's there because I get the right engine mounts, fan, stuff like that. And yeah, but the auto's good. Well, as far as I know, it'll be good. Otherwise, they would have pulled the pan and stuff off that as well. It must have been the motor that went. I'm going to have to change the tail shaft because I'm putting a different diff in. But all in all, it's been good. It's got a nice set of extractors on it. In here, I haven't come across any rust, which is absolutely fabulous. So my job now is to strip everything out of here, get this brake booster off, and try and get some paint on that today. The front end it looks okay. It'll need a couple of tie rods and stuff. Ball joints look okay. Brake lines I'm going to replace because they've been sitting for a long time. A lot of the time these flexible brake lines perish inside, and that's the reason that they don't work. But there's nothing bent that I can see. It all looks pretty good, so that'll get a good tidy up. So new rack boots. Yeah, she'll tidy up. It'll be all right. Give it a good paint black, so it's quite nice. And I've got the engine stripped down to nothing. Checked all the Welsh plugs, they all look alright. I'll replace this harmonic balancer. The water pump had a broken stud in one of the things. It was just, I tried to get it out, but more of a headache than what it's worth. And oil pump will be fine. I'm undecided on what to do with the sump. So I may leave painting this today and have a talk to the captain and get his opinion on whether we pull the sump and actually put a gasket on that. It doesn't seem to be leaking, but there's a bit of silicone around it, so it might be, for a couple of bucks for a gasket, it's probably worthwhile. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to try and strip this auto off this motor. It's going to be a headache because I can't turn the motor over to undo the torque converter bolts, so I'm going to have to probably drop the whole crank and everything out, and I didn't bring a yoke over for the back of the gearbox, so I'm going to end up with fluid everywhere, no doubt. But yeah, so we're making good progress. Bedford, I can't wait to drive this thing. It's not going to be a powerhouse, but she's just going to be such a cool rig. Huh? Yeah. Anyway, all right, I'll keep getting into it and I'll give you a few more updates as we go. I finished off this fiberglassing because we went and picked up the fiberglass stuff while we were out. Jake's been cleaning this up. Sorry about the compressor noise, but just how it is. You can see under here, because there was a big hole, I put some masking tape there to hold the fiberglass from underneath, and then up on here alright, so up here this is what we've done. Okay, so there was another crack here. That's where the masking tape is to hold that up, and that's us. So yeah, so that's us for the day. So what do we get done today? We got a bit done. We done the fiberglassing. Leith finally finished blowing with that air blower. Anyway, all right guys, I hope you enjoyed the Sunday. It's just sort of a day in the life. All right dudes, say hello to your sister. See you.